Why WWE officials were upset about NXT show ending. The ending of NXT on CW didn't go exactly as planned, which led to some upset people within WWE. A new era started for the WWE NXT brand on October 1st with their first episode on CW. That show was in Chicago and the following week's episode was in Philadelphia, while the 2 episodes that followed were back home at the Performance Center in Orlando. In the main event of WWE NXT on October 22nd, the team of Giulia and Stephanie Baker defeated Fatal Influence's Jacy Jayne and Fallon Henley. After the match was over, Giulia and Baker had a stare-down with their Halloween Havoc opponents NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. The Fatal Influence group also went over to the Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal to reveal the stipulation when one of them challenges Kalani Jordan for the NXT North American Women's Championship. It landed on the spinner's choice option. There was still more after that because NXT newcomer Zoria, formerly Delta, appeared by the entrance area with the spotlight on her. Announcer Vic Joseph screamed about how she's here and announcer Booker T said wow, and that was the end of the show. However, there were issues with the ending of the show depending on where you live. NXT ended right at 10 p.m. Eastern Time at the 2-hour mark, but in some markets, fans missed the end of the show. According to Fightful Select, WWE NXT officials made it aware to CW Network that the show was going to end right at the 10 p.m. Eastern Time hour. It was noted by Fightful that officials in NXT were very upset with the show being cut early. A source related to the NXT brand said, "Everyone who runs or has a say in the show was ****ed. No names were given, but WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels is the man who oversees the NXT brand, while Paul Levesque, Triple H, and Lee Fitting are executive producers on the show along with Michaels. Those problems were anticipated by WWE in the weeks leading up to the CW debut because they have a hard cut-off time going off the air. It's different compared to the USA Network era when the show would end 5 to 7 minutes after the top of the hour. That's because on CW, they go to local news at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, whereas on USA Network it is just other programming on the channel." WWE NXT presents Halloween Havoc. The focus of this week's episode of WWE NXT was all about the Halloween Havoc PLE taking place on Sunday, October 27th in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Here's the lineup so far. Devil's Playground match for the NXT Championship, Trick Williams, C, versus Ethan Page. Asterisk tables, ladders, and scares match for the NXT North American Championship, Tony D'Angelo, C, versus Oba Femi. Asterisk Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade versus Giulia and Stephanie Baker.